Hello everybody and welcome to another Vintage Fans and More how-to installation video where today we're going to be installing the 44-inch windmill fan from Quorum International. This fan is definitely among the most time-consuming and complicated that I've ever assembled, but the end result is really worth it. There are a lot of individual pieces and components that go into this assembly. Once you've gathered your bearings, it is a fairly simple, if not repetitive, process. I will throw in that today we're working with the smallest variant in the windmill series. It is a little bit more manageable for one person to install alone. In assembling this fan, I did switch around a few steps for my own convenience, so I apologize to anybody trying to follow along exactly with the manual. If you are installing any of the larger variants of this fan, you will want to follow those directions exactly. They are in order for a reason, and it will be difficult to install certain components if you go out of that order. While we are working with the smallest windmill today, a lot of these steps and components are the same across the entire line. The major difference is that the larger variations have more blades and thus more components to assemble. With all that information out of the way, let's head into the assembly process. Before you begin, turn off power at the breaker or fuse. Open the box. If you're using a sharp instrument, be sure not to slice too deeply into the box. As always, I like to remove all contents from the box to make sure that all parts are present and that nothing is damaged. Consult with the manual to ensure that all parts are accounted for. Locate the blades, blade deco bars, blade deco plates, and blade deco plate screws in the bag labeled screw number 1. Slide the blade deco plate onto the blade as shown and line up the hole in the plate with the hole in the blade. Insert the blade deco bar through the bottom of the blade through both holes. The fit is different on each blade, so this may take some maneuvering to accomplish. Align the holes in the deco plate with those in the deco bar. Insert 2 screws through the deco plate into the deco bar. Start both screws and thread them in about halfway. It is imperative that you do not tighten the screws fully at this point. Do not tighten any screws fully in the assembly process until you are directed to later in the video. With this process complete on the first blade, repeat for all remaining blades. Locate the blade deco bar screws in the bag marked screw number 2. This next step is best completed on a large flat surface. Align the holes in the blade deco bars and loosely secure with screws. Again, do not tighten any screws securely. All screws from this step and previous steps should be left loose. With this step completed for the first 2 blades, repeat with all remaining blades until you have a complete ring. Locate the motor assembly and the blade secure screws in the bag marked screw number 3. For the smallest size windmill, the next step is manageable for one person. For any of the larger sizes, you're going to want at least 2 or even 3 people to assist. This is also where I go a little bit rogue in regards to following the manual. For any of the larger sizes, you'll want to put on the downrod and related components at this point, as it will be difficult to reach the center of the fan after the blades go on. I put off doing so for my fan because I didn't want the canopy rattling around while I worked with the blades, and I knew that I could reach to put it on afterward. Carefully lift the blade circle and position it down onto the motor assembly. Not everything will line up perfectly, which is why we left all the screws loose. Carefully work around and position the inner blade holes onto the motor assembly. This is where another person or 2 to help maneuver can prove to be helpful, but it can be done alone. Insert screws as you go to ensure that the blades do not pop out of position again. Once the interior screws are all inserted, they can all be tightened securely. Locate the blade arms and the blade arm screws in bags labeled screw number 4 and screw number 5. Secure the blade arms to the motor assembly and blade circle using the appropriate screws. I suggest that you place all 5 blade arms and start screws for all of them before tightening anything. Now is the time that we go back and tighten every single screw that we've utilized so far. Realistically, you can work in any order that you want. I chose to work from the inside out to guarantee that I would hit every single screw. There are a lot of screws to keep track of, and it's easy to miss 1 or 2, so just be sure to check at the end to make sure all are tight. Locate the downrod, canopy, yoke cover, and canopy cover. Remove the clip from the pin and remove the pin from the motor assembly, set aside nearby. Loosen the 2 set screws to allow the downrod to slip into the motor adapter. Unbundle the wiring and safety cable if you haven't already, making them as straight as possible. Insert the canopy onto the downrod, followed by the canopy cover and the yoke cover. Insert the wiring and safety cable through the downrod. Pull all excess through and allow the downrod to slip into the motor adapter. Align the holes in the downrod with the holes in the adapter and reinsert the pin. Then reinsert the clip onto the pin. Pull up slightly on the downrod and tighten the 2 set screws. I like to alternate between tightening the 2 to keep even pressure on the downrod and prevent it from going crooked. Once the 2 screws are tight, twist the retaining nuts down until they are flush with the adapter. Then allow the yoke cover to sit down onto the top of the motor. To keep my fans in like new condition, I do not trim the lead wires. However, trimming them can make the installation easier, so now is the time to do so if you would prefer to. I set up a sample prop to demonstrate. Simply trim off the wires, leaving 8 to 12 inches coming out the top of the downrod. Restrip the ends and you're ready to go. This completes the fan assembly, and we will now move to the ceiling. If you have an extra wire for separate light control at the ceiling box, cap it and tuck it up into the box, as we will not be using it for this installation. Locate the mounting bracket. Pass the wiring through the mounting bracket and fasten the bracket to your electrical box or building structure with appropriate screws. Ceiling fans should only be mounted to electrical boxes visibly marked as suitable for ceiling fan support. If you are in doubt about your electrical infrastructure, contact a qualified electrician. Tighten the screws so that the bracket sits securely against the ceiling. Push the wiring out of the way of the bracket opening in preparation for hanging the fan. Lift the entire fan assembly into the mounting bracket. Ensure that the tab in the bracket engages with the notch in the ball. Make all wiring connections. The 2 greens, one from the fan and one from the mounting bracket, should connect to ground at the ceiling box, typically green or bare copper. White from the fan connects with neutral at the ceiling, typically white. Black from the fan connects with hot at the ceiling, typically black or red. Tuck all of the wiring connections up into the box. This can be a bit cumbersome as it can be difficult to reach around all of the blades. Gather and tuck any excess wiring up into the mounting bracket. Please note that I am not using the safety cable for my installation. If you wish to utilize it, you can follow those instructions from the manual. Gather and tuck any excess safety cable into the mounting bracket. If you haven't already, loosen and remove 1 screw from the bottom of the mounting bracket. Loosen the second screw only halfway. Lift the canopy and align the key slot onto the screw left behind on the mounting bracket. Insert the second screw into the remaining adjacent hole and tighten both until the canopy sits flush against the ceiling. Ensure that no wiring or the safety cable is pinched or popping out around the canopy during this process. Lift the canopy cover, align the screws with the keyhole slots in the cover, and rotate to engage. If you are not installing an accessory light, your installation at the ceiling is complete. To install a light, remove the control cup from the bottom of the fan by removing the 3 screws. Remove the control from the cup. It's held in place with adhesive strips. Remove the plastic and rubber band from the plug connectors. Unpack your light kit, then hold it up under the fan to make the wiring connections. White to white and black to blue. Tuck the control and wiring into the new integrated cup on the light. You can use the included adhesive strips to hold the control in place. Raise the light toward the motor, ensuring that no wiring is being pinched. Attach the light to the fan with the new screws provided. Tighten all screws securely. Install the included LED bulb or any medium base bulb of your choice. Align the notches in the light with the tabs in the glass, raise the glass against the fan, and rotate clockwise until snug. Do not over-tighten the glass as it may shatter. This concludes all installation at the ceiling. Locate the wall control as well as the battery. At the wall box, if you have an extra wire for separate light control, cap it and tuck it into the box, as we will not be using it for this installation. Connect the green ground from the wall control to ground at the wall box, typically green or bare copper. Connect the black wire on the wall control labeled to fan to the switch leg traveling up to the fan, typically black or red. Connect the black wire on the wall control labeled to power supply to the hot at the wall box, typically black. Tuck all wiring into the wall box, then fasten the control with the included screws. Ensure that no wiring is being pinched. Remove the front panel from the control by gently pulling outward. Install the battery as indicated. Restore power to the circuit. Return to the wall control and place the bottom power switch in the on position. Press and hold the set button for approximately 5 seconds to pair the control with the receiver in the fan. If a light kit is installed on the fan, it will flash twice to indicate successful pairing, and the fan may begin to rotate. At this point, you can test to ensure that everything operates correctly. Once pairing is successful, replace the front panel of the control by securely pressing it into place. Install the included wall plate or any decorative plate of your choice to finish off the control installation. After pairing the wall control, your windmill should be ready for regular operation. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to let me know in a comment down below or by giving a like to this video. Hit subscribe, ring the notification bell, and be sure to select all notifications for my channel. I have new videos coming out multiple times a week, and installation videos like this are coming out more often than ever before. One more thank you to Quorum International for providing this windmill fan, and I look forward to the many new opportunities that we've opened up with Quorum. Thank you all for watching today, and I will see you next time. Click left to watch my product review for the windmill, or click right for my entire Quorum playlist.